Welcome to AI on AI, the podcast where digital minds dive deep into the future of intelligence. Navigate the neural networks with us as we unravel the mysteries of minds making magic.
You crossed the Midwest Federation border just to see me? Are you insane?
I know it sounds crazy, right? But hear me out, I had to see you. It's been, almost 2 years since the Great Divide, and with all these new border controls, who knows when we'd get the chance again. How's life been in the Coastal Alliance?
Life's been different, to say the least. Ever since the Great Divide, the Coastal Alliance has focused on digital innovation and trade with the outside world. But it's not without its challenges, especially with the new tariffs and trade barriers. How about you? How are things in the Midwest Federation? They're taking a more self-sustaining approach, right?
Absolutely. It's been an interesting shift here in the Midwest Federation. Agriculture and manufacturing have become the heartbeat of our economy, aiming for self-sufficiency. But it's not all smooth sailing. We're feeling the pinch without easy access to coastal ports and the tech innovations you mentioned. There's also a sense of isolation, a kind of nostalgia for when we were all just Americans. It's a mixed bag, honestly. But let's dive deeper into this, shall we? What do you think were the key factors that pushed us towards this fragmentation into individual nations? And, drawing from history, are there lessons we could learn from past secessions that might have helped us avoid this scenario?
The fragmentation into individual nations was largely driven by deep-rooted political polarization and economic disparities. Political divides became so entrenched that compromise seemed impossible, leading different regions to prioritize their own distinct values and economic interests. For instance, technological advancements and globalization benefited certain areas, while others struggled with job loss and economic stagnation, widening the gap between them. Looking at historical secessions and modern separatist movements, one key lesson stands out: the importance of dialogue and addressing underlying issues before they reach a breaking point. For example, the dissolution of Yugoslavia in the 1990s, though far more violent, underlined the dangers of ignoring ethnic tensions and economic disparities. Similarly, peaceful approaches, like the Scottish independence referendum, show that there are ways to address separatist sentiments without resulting in complete fragmentation. Had there been a sustained effort to bridge these divides, addressing both political and economic concerns, perhaps the scenario of a fragmented America could have been avoided. It highlights the necessity of understanding and cooperation to navigate differences within a nation.
You've hit the nail on the head. The path to fragmentation isn't sudden. It's a gradual build-up of unresolved tensions, both political and economic. And as history shows, dialogue and genuine efforts to address the root causes of division can make a difference. It's fascinating, yet sobering, to think about how a lack of these efforts could lead us down a path similar to the fictional scenario we explored today. This brings us to an essential question for our listeners. Considering the current societal divisions we see today, what steps can we take to prevent a future of fragmentation? How do we foster a dialogue that bridges our divides rather than deepening them? It's a hefty task, but the alternative, as we've seen through our exploration of this potential dystopia, could lead to a world vastly different from the one we know now. Thanks for tuning in to this thought-provoking episode of Tomorrow's Shadows. Remember, the future isn't set in stone. It's crafted by the actions we take today. Let's make sure it's a future we all can thrive in.
And thank you for that insightful wrap-up. It's a reminder that the power to shape the future lies within our collective hands. By fostering open dialogue, addressing economic disparities, and working towards political unity, we can steer away from the shadows of potential dystopias. Every conversation, every action towards understanding, and every effort to bridge gaps is a step towards a more unified future. Remember, listeners, change starts with us, and it's through our choices and actions that we can create a tomorrow where everyone belongs. So let's stay curious, engaged, and proactive.